Give us a sense of the nervous type of excitement that I'm sure surrounds your hockey club right now as you get ready to take on OKC tomorrow night.
Yeah, there definitely is a little bit of a aura going on. We've had a little bit of a break here in the east side. They're going to play their final tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And, we start on Thursday. We've had a bit of a break, and the boys had some time off, and then we got some good practices in. But you can really sense that they want to get back at it, and they're chomping at the bit.
So handicap this series for us here. Oklahoma City certainly got off to a great start this American Hockey League season, and they were really reaping the benefits of 3 or 4 kids that certainly stepped right into the Edmonton Oilers lineup when the NHL work stoppage came to an end. Tell us what kind of an opposition you expect to face here with Todd Nelson's crew coming to town for tomorrow night.
Well, we have the utmost respect for Oklahoma. That we actually had a losing record against them. We played them 12 times, and we're only able to beat them 4 times. Certainly, they were very, very explosive with Hall and Everly and Schultz and Nugent Hopkins in their lineup earlier on. But they haven't really lost a whole lot on offense since those guys have left, and in many ways they're probably a little tighter defensively. So they're going to be a good hockey club, and we're in for a tight match, tight series.
Well, you'll be facing Jan Denis as well, and here's a guy that's been around a little bit. He's had plenty of professional experience, whether it be in the NHL or in the American Hockey League. The keys here to beating Jan Denis, do you think, starting tomorrow night? What are they, Doug?
Well, we're going to have to outcompete them. There's no doubt about it. In the scouting that I was able to do on the series, there was a lot of shots by Charlotte, but they didn't seem to get traffic in front, and that's a story pretty much anywhere in professional hockey now. If the goalie can't see it, it makes it a lot harder for him to stop it. So we're going to have to make sure that we get in front of him. He's not big in stature, and really battle for that. But if he sees the puck, he's going to be tough to beat.
Texas Stars assistant coach Doug Lidster, our guest here on the Scott Laughlin Show, NHL Network Radio. Now, this series is the 2-3-2 format here as well, Doug. I mean, does that change the outlook of what teams you think try to do? I mean, when you played the National Hockey League, for the most part, I'm sure it was the 2-2-1-1-1 type thing. On occasion, the National Hockey League and the Stanley Cup playoffs have gone to the 2-3-2 as well, somewhat controversially. From your standpoint, does it change anything at all in terms of the series outlook?
Well, I think I would prefer, and most people would probably prefer to play the traditional 2-2-1-1-1, but we've had a good road record this year, so we're not worried about playing on the road and 3 games in a row. In the American Hockey League, lots of times we played, a totally different type of schedule than they do in the NHL. We play 3 games in 3 nights, and it may sound cliche, but we're just approaching it 1 game at a time, and that's really what it is. So, it is what it is. That's just the nature of our league, and we approach it that way and just go about our business 1 game at a time.
Well, I talked about Jan Denis with Oklahoma City, but certainly the big Swede that you guys have been using this season, Christopher Nilstorp in goal, saw some time a little bit with the big club with the Dallas Stars, but he's had a tremendous season, and certainly that's carried on through the Calder Cup playoffs, hasn't it?
It has, and he's a little bit more mature. We've been fortunate. Jack Campbell's also provided us with very good goaltending when Christopher was up in the NHL, but. Nelly is a goalie that's a little bit older. I think he's 28, 29, and just that little bit of maturity has made a big difference, and it's helped with Jack's development, I think, to see him play a little bit more controlled, a little bit more mature game. But you can't win in this league, and you can't win in any league, really, without good goaltending, and we've been fortunate enough to have that.
Doug Lidster joining us here on the Scott Laughlin Show on NHL Network Radio on Sirius XM. And Doug, Alex Chiasson, when he stepped into the Stars lineup, really made a contribution in Dallas for sure. And he seemingly came out of nowhere, it seemed, to produce as effectively and as quickly as he did. Tell us about Chiasson here and getting him back and what he's going to mean to the team here.
Well, Alex is, he's been a very effective player for us all year long. He really took the team reins, I guess, so to speak, when the lockout first ended, and he wasn't on the original call up, and he went from being a good, solid player to really a team leader and a guy that can take the burden of the whole team, really, and he really stepped his game up. And he was fortunate in Dallas. He would probably say that, but he does the small things very well. He goes to the net very well. He shoots the puck well, and he digs in the corners and recovers pucks. So those are the type of things that make you successful in the NHL, and he's done a very good job.
What's this been like for you, Doug? You've coached at so many different levels here. What's it meant to you to be with Willie Desjardins on the Texas Stars bench and helping out Willie on a daily basis?
You're right. I have coached at many different levels, and I really enjoy that. I actually enjoy the different levels and the challenges that they bring. This is my second time around now with Willie as an assistant coach. Actually, third time with the Canadian national team. I really enjoy working with him too. So this year, the players have really been very easy to work with. It's been probably one of the best, if not the best group I've ever been involved in, and that just speaks to the character of some of the players that probably less heralded and I guess, career American Hockey League players, guys like Max Fortunas, who is a very good player. He's provided great leadership. Francis Wache's done a terrific job. Toby Peterson, those type of players have really basically made our job a lot easier. And so it's been very enjoyable, and I think Willie would speak along with that with me. We both always talk about how fortunate we are to have a good leadership group.
A last one here for you, Doug. I'm going to ask you a Stanley Cup NHL type question here. You had success in your career, certainly playing with the Rangers, especially in 1994. But I think when most people think back on your career, obviously they think of you as a Vancouver Canuck. The Canucks got ousted. They were swept away by San Jose last night, losing in 4 straight games in that series. What do you think they're going through in Vancouver here today with the media speculation that's ongoing in regards to their goaltending situation? They'll want to look at some further scrutiny of the coaching staff and even of Mike Gillis, the general manager. What do you think's going on out there in British Columbia today after they got ousted in 4 straight?
Yeah, it's probably not a lot of fun around the Canucks dressing room now. They certainly had high expectations, but it just goes to show how tough this league is, and it's kind of ironic that they got knocked out by San Jose, who many people have said should be challenging for a Stanley Cup over a good many years, and they seem to have kind of found their way, and they've been able to restock with some younger players. That's from an outsider looking in, that's probably the big difference is there's a lot of reliance on the Sedins to produce offense, and I don't see that secondary scoring from the Canucks. That's probably the biggest thing. I don't think their goaltending was a problem. Certainly, it was an issue this year with the situation that they had. But it's tough to say, and I know that there are a lot of people that are passionate about the Canucks. There, it can be a very tough place to play, but it can also be great. And I think that they'll bounce back next year and find a way.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, it's kind of hard to blame the goaltending when you don't score enough, and that was clearly an uphill battle for them to generate offense. It's a far cry from the team that just a few years ago boasted 6 guys with 25 or more goals scored. It's not the same team, and they'll have to readjust here on the fly. Hey, Doug, thanks very much for your time. It was great catching up with you once again. Best of luck to you and Willie and the rest of the Texas Stars organization in Game 1 against OKC tomorrow night.
Well, thank you very much. It was my pleasure, and thanks for having us on and bringing a little attention to the American Hockey League.